Hello, today I'm going to give you the key economic data for the period from March 2021 to March 2022. I'm ZiHeng. Firstly, I want to talk about the pandemic effect economy. Since 2020, there has been a major outbreak of COVID-19 around the world. This is a global disaster and Australia is affected. The COVID-19 pandemic has seriously affected Australia's economy and the normal life of Australians. So secondly, I want to talk about the definition. What is the gross domestic product? The famous name about gross domestic product is GDP. The market value of all final goods and services produced in a country during a period of time. GDP is a measure using marketing values, not quantities. Unemployment rate, the percentage of the labor force that is employed. Inflation, the sustained increase in general level of price in the economy. Demand pull and cost push inflation. Comparing GDP, inflation, and employment data from March 2021 to March 2022. GDP increased from 1.3% to 4.4%. The Australian economy is recovering. The state lifted restriction on movement and activities throughout the country and opened its border to international travelers. The unemployment rate was 5.7 in March 2021 and 4.4 in March 2022. The unemployment rate was lower in March 2022 than it was in March 2021. As the impact of the pandemic wanes, the country lifted restriction on movement and open borders. Service and industry are recovering and the unemployment is falling. The inflation rate rose from 1.1 in March 2021 to 5.1 in March 2022. This is the ADAS model. This is I draw it, and this is my analysis. I want to talk about this. As the Australian government relaxed control and restriction on the epidemic and opened its borders, many enterprises resumed normal operation and began to increase investment in operation, which caused the 81 curve move to rise to 82. The equilibrium moved from point A to point B, and the price level raised from P1 to P2. Real GDP went from Q1 to Q2. As economy expanded, jobs began to grow and the employment rate began to fall. But as prices had risen, so had Australians' wages. Low unemployment resulting from the expansion will make it easier for Australians to negotiate higher wages. Will increase demand will make it easier for business to get higher price. Thus, the SRAS1 curve moves to the left to SRAS2. The equilibrium point raised from the B to C inflation, and the price level raised from the P2 to P3. Real GDP goes back to where it starts from Q2 to Q1, so there is no change in real GDP. This is my reference list. Thank you everyone. It's all.